Hey, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to King Penny's podcast, episode number 6, man. We got a special guest today. Hey, I want to thank everybody for helping out with the event yesterday, man. The barbers, the chef, Mrs. Longmont and stuff like that, man. That's a funny story for that if you're watching this now. hey, so let's go ahead with no further ado, man. Let's introduce our guest.
Yay.
So let us get your name and where you're from.
All right, my name is Michelle Deines, and I am your current, as of the 1st of August, Mrs. Longmont, 2024. Did I say Michelle Deines already? It's weird how you say my name. People don't know how to say it. So Deines is in, my husband says like dynasty, or as my kids say, is in dinosaur.
Okay.
So that helps pronounce that weird last name.
So you are married?
I am married, hence the Mrs.
Okay.
My wonderful husband and I have been together for about 16 years. We've been married for 8 years. We have 2 wonderful kids. Chase is 12 and Lainey is going to be 10 in September. She's going into 5th grade and he's going into 7th. So they're just growing so stinking fast. He's literally almost as tall as I am now, and it's just, they grow up so fast. But he works really hard, so I can stay home and homeschool them.
Yeah. So outside of the crown, what do you do for a living? What do you?
Right now, I kind of gig it. My husband works really hard, like I said, so that way I can stay home and take care of the kids. So I do gigs, but right now, this past summer, I have been a campground host up the Poudre Canyon. So I have 29 sites that I manage, and campers that come in and out. And so what it looks like is in the morning I go and I clean out the 8 vault toilets that we have, and I just make sure everybody is safe and happy and that the campground's cleaned up, and I do like some maintenance and landscaping and painting tables and just making sure that the tags all match the money and the cars and the sites, and I get to meet a lot of really, really cool people, and it's been a true blessing, and I'm so glad that I've been able to take this.
So this isn't the day-to-day uniform.
This is not the day-to-day. No, as I told Penny this morning, I walked in, and he's like, "Wow," and I was like, "Yeah, this is not what I looked like this morning when I woke up at the campground in my camp trailer. Yeah, I look like a ranger up there. My brother calls me Ranger Deines. He's like, because I got my bear spray, I've got my knife, I've got my tactical flashlight, I got my keys, my work gloves, my Leatherman, my walkie-talkie, my pager, the keys, my other knife is in my pocket, and then I got a pen on me." So
which one are you more comfortable?
Absolutely in the mountains. This is not me. Yeah, this is a different uniform for sure.
So why did you choose to compete? Like, what was the overall, like, what's the why behind it?
The why was when my mom did it when I was my kids' age. She did it 20 years ago, and she did it for about 5 years, so I remembered her doing it, and she would sing the national anthem at Colorado National Speedway, because she's a trained opera singer, so that's what she does, is she sings the national anthem. If you ever need the national anthem, she'll come do it for you. She's actually Mrs. Firestone. We're doing the pageant again together this year, so we're having a lot of fun with that. But she had lost a lot of weight, and she's overcome a lot of health issues. So we were going through her closet, and she had her gowns from the pageant, back in the corner. And she's like, I think those would fit you. And I was like, "No, I'm good, Mom. Like, I don't want to try on your dresses." She's like, "No, try them on." So I tried on her dresses, and I go out. She's like, "You got to go show your dad." So I go show Dad, and Dad's like, "Oh my gosh, that looks great on you." I was like, "Thanks, Dad." And he's like, "You should totally do the pageant." And I was like, "How did you even know we were like talking about the pageant?" Well, he recognized her gown, of course. Yeah. And he's like, "No, you have a story to share. You have, things that you've overcome. You should totally do it. It's like a celebration of, overcoming what you've overcome." And so I was like, "Okay, that might be fun, and be something different." So then I went overboard with it, and I wanted to do all these things and focus on services and just helping others in the community.
Yeah. So while you touched on it, let's just stay here for a second with the health.
Yes.
Not necessarily your mom's, stuff like that. I want to talk about yours, though.
Yeah.
Like the things that you've overcome or what you have going on and where you're at with it.
Yeah. So I was always sickly as a kid. I always had fatigue. I had joint issues. I had digestive issues. It was hard to do more than go to school in the day. or go to church. If we did anything else, I would be too tired, too sick to do anything the next day. I would have to just completely rest. That's elementary school on, all the way into college. I was doing really good, in and out of doctors, in and out of specialists, trying different supplements, trying different medications to try to see what would help me just feel better. Led me into a lot of depression, because here I am, I'm, all these years, I'm not able to do what other kids are able to do. I'm not able to do the sports. I'm not able to do all the extracurricular stuff. I just physically couldn't do it. So depression isn't not just a chemical imbalance. I was depressed because I'm not normal. What's wrong with me? And we can't find what's wrong with me. So in college, I finally ended up going and seeing a doctor who sent me to an infectious disease specialist. And after lots of blood tests and stuff later, she says, okay, Epstein-Barr virus, which is basically mono. Okay. Most people get mono, She's like, there's mono that most people get, and then there's the chronic mono, and that's what you have. She says, there's two different kinds. You have the worst kind. So I essentially have mono that just comes back and throughout my life. So
and it does it transform into a, or is it the same?
So that's the starting diagnosis. In 2006 or 2007, I got diagnosed with that.
Okay.
With a blood draw. So it was like, okay, at least I have some kind of, there is something physically wrong. It's not just that I'm crazy, because you get told, oh, it's just in your head, you'll be fine, just you need to get over it, whatever. I was like, there's nothing I can do. So that helped answer some questions that, okay, there is something that I have a virus that is causing me to not be normal. I got pregnant with my son, and things were just, my symptoms weren't fitting in with the Epstein-Barr research that I was doing, because that's what I'm good at research. I'm good at research. Yeah. So I fed Penny. Yeah. So I do research on everything all the time to try to figure out what I can do to help myself and whatever. So I went in and they took like a pint of my blood. There were like 16 vials. She was just drawing blood out of me like crazy. Finally, I had to call back like a month later, and she's like, okay, you have an autoimmune disease. It's called Sjogren's syndrome. I'm like, okay, that helps, Now I have something else that I can look at or whatever, but it's not progressed enough that we can actually do anything about, is what they said. The rheumatologist that I was seeing, there's nothing we can really do. It's not progressed enough, whatever. But as my current doctor explained to me, that the EBV and then the Sjogren's, and they feed off each other and make each other worse and complicates the issue. On top of that, the major depression that I was having also. Then I was starting to have really bad anxiety about leaving the house, anxiety about food, like when I ate, how much I ate. There was times where there was a good year or two where I couldn't eat past 5 o'clock in the evening. I was scared to death that I was going to get sick, that I wasn't be able to take care of my kids, because it happened one time and then it just stuck in my head. And so I just had these crippling anxieties, and so that wasn't fun either. Then I went to a doctor about some intestinal pain that I was having, and he suggested that I quit eating gluten for a while. And I was like, all right, cool. So I quit eating gluten, and that helped a lot with the intestinal pain. So we got the EBV, the Sjogren's, depression. And then, in 2020, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm in my early 30s, fibromyalgia, all these other diagnoses. And then just recently, I had surgery for the endometriosis. And I have cysts on my ovaries and stuff too that they were able to clean all out or whatever. But I had a lot of endometriosis, and they actually ended up taking out my uterus also. So I had a hysterectomy also. So I had a lot of issues with that as well.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't want to, you know what I mean? My bad for digging into all this stuff.
This is my life. This is all part of my blog. This is not anything
okay.
that's
I was just like, oh, wow.
No.
You know what I mean?
I want to show that just because you're stuck somewhere or you're feeling somewhere, you have to be your own advocate, is really what I'm
I guess my
trying
thing
to get
is
at.
so when I hear you talk about all this, but you're always positive. You're always upbeat.
Not always, but
well,
I appreciate it.
no, like every interaction I've had with you, or I've seen from you, I've heard even like when I ask other people about you.
Yeah.
It's always, oh, she's the best. She's always smiling. She's always upbeat. She's always, you know what I mean? How do you do that with carrying all this at the same time?
Well, I have the incredible support of my family. My parents are absolutely amazing. My husband is phenomenal, and I'm a Christian, and my strength comes from Christ. Like, you know, through him, I can do all things through his strength. So leaning on that has really brought the good out in me, because it's him coming out through me. It's not me.
Okay. And so all this you're battling, but also at the same time you make the choice to compete.
Yeah.
How do you how do you balance all this?
So, well, I was essentially bedridden because of all of that for many years. I was not able to do anything. I was able to take care of the kids, like do a load of laundry a day, and that was like it. I was listening to a podcast, my favorite hunting podcast, and it's called Meat Eater. And no, I if I do anything in my week, it's listening to Meat Eater. And I have not missed one of their 500 episodes. Anyways, they had a doctor on there that he was struggling with autoimmune issues. He was struggling with health issues. And so I was like, oh my gosh, so much of his story I related to. And he was talking about, you know, being a doctor and not being able to help his patients. And, you know, just prescribing medications, and they come in with more symptoms, or then, okay, different medications. And he just was like, we're not improving their lives. So he started looking at diet, and he started the carnivore diet, or a more animal-based diet is what he goes off of. And so it's more just like red meat and eggs and, you know, meat that doesn't have all the crap in it.
Yeah.
Just pure food, and some fruit and like some white rice and stuff, or some sweet potatoes every now and then or whatever, and then just drinking water and electrolytes and organs also of the animals. And
Time out. I'm gonna stop you there.
Yeah.
Organs off of where?
Beef.
Oh.
Animal organs.
Explain, please, right quick.
Liver, heart, spleen, you know, all, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Like, my bad. I'm like, what?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
All
absolutely. If you're holistic, you know, like heals like, and that makes sense.
But
right?
it's been working.
Yeah, I have been researching it since 2018 when I heard about it. I've been living it since 2019, and I am back to life again. I am able to work. I am able to go camping months at a time by myself with the kids and work at the same time. A couple years ago, there's not a cry that I would be able to even set up the camp trailer by myself. Yeah. So yeah, complete 180, completely saved.
So you go from doing one load of laundry to homeschooling kids. How's that? Like, how's homeschooling?
It's great. I was a good student, so I like school.
Yeah.
I would still be a student if I could afford it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. I was good at it. I was in the International Baccalaureate. I couldn't do anything else, so what could I do? I could read, I could study, I could write, I could research. That's what I could do. It's what you can do when you're stuck at a desk or, you know, in bed. So yeah, to be able to homeschool my kids has been a blessing and an honor. What they struggle with, I can help them. I know exactly what subjects, where they're struggling. So that then throughout the day when we're doing stuff, I can intermix work and play and school all together, and it's helping them so much more. Chase is going into 7th grade. His science is at a 10th grader's science level. His reading is an 11th grader's, you know, so like he struggles in math, which is fine. We work a little bit more on that, but I know that he really likes science and stuff, so we do sciencey stuff, and I feed that, you know, I feed that in him.
Feed that curiosity in him, but also too, so you choose to homeschool your kids, but you've dealt a lot with missing out school yourself, right?
I was able to complete school.
I
graduated. That's all because I was able to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I could. being physically in school, like when I went to college, I had a scholarship, I had everything, I was good to go.
Yeah.
But I couldn't physically, I was on the dean's list, I was in the honor society, but I couldn't physically sit in the seat for their attendance record.
Oh, okay.
So I lost out on my scholarships and everything just because of attendance.
Oh.
My performance was stellar, but attendance was where I
Well, you know,
failed.
I had the same kind of problem in high school myself, but
I'm
it
sure
was
you
like,
were reading
look,
books, Penny.
look, no, but you know what I mean? Like, hey, performance was excellent, but my attendance, hey, look here.
Right, right.
It
Yeah.
had left something to be desired.
Yeah, in high school, they were a little bit more lenient because they knew, they could see my history growing up through the whole district of what was going on with me. So, you know, the attendance was something a little bit, and they just knew who I was as a person because I was involved when I could be. But yeah.
So I want to pivot, right? And so let's talk about. So you win Mrs. Longmont, right? And so you get involved in all this service. Were you always like service like oriented, or is this like something that comes with the crown? Like, is this like?
Nope. You can do what you want with the crown. You don't have to do anything wearing the crown at all. I choose to use it as a force of positive and service and just connecting people. Being a network kind of hub for people is what I would like to do. My mom, when she did it years ago, she was in the PTA and she sang the national anthem. Like, that's all she did. Like, that was her platform. Her platform was getting kids to read more.
Okay.
And so there's other, you can have a platform of, you know, a certain illness. I could do Sjogren's awareness. I could do endometriosis awareness, which I have.
So what's your
stuff on
major
that.
platform?
My platform is serving others to build or to strengthen communities.
Okay.
Because it started out as serve and be served. But that was just too simple, and it needed to be something more finite.
Okay.
So this is serving others however anybody can to help strengthen our community.
So do I list off like all the organizations or the things that you help, or is there some?
I've got on my Facebook, Instagram, website, my QR code. Maybe Penny will put that up on here.
Oh, look,
yeah.
you're gonna produce. Oh,
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
producing the podcast now. Maybe Penny will put it like right here.
Right here
she
in
said.
the middle, in between
Okay.
us. I share everything Penny has. You can find me. You can pretty much type in Mrs. Longmont, and you can find my link tree, and that'll take you to my sponsors, which I can't do any of this without also, and then all of the organizations that I am trying to get the word out for them, to get them to connect with people that want to help with them, to volunteer with their organizations, or that need their help.
And also, too, you have your own podcast.
I have my own podcast, Serving Locally with Michelle.
And that's how we met.
That's how we met.
Stuff like that. People still give me a hard time about this age question that you asked. They always, hey, do the laugh one time, bro. Like, hey, give me a hard time about that. But you have a great podcast where you know what I mean? You highlight people that are doing acts of service.
Yes.
You know, what has been like some of the top moments off of that? Like, what is, like, you know, everybody has like, like maybe a guest or an organization that comes and just, you know what I mean? Like,
really blows me away.
Yeah, which one? Like,
Yeah.
which are, I mean, I'm sure there's more than one, but can you give us like one or two?
Well, I really enjoyed
that?
your podcast because
Hey,
that was
look
a
here.
lot of fun.
Of course, hey, look here, you did that. I appreciate that. Look, you know, but
that podcast was great. UC Health was amazing, and I don't even remember how I got in touch with them, but they do some great things. I was able to do a shotgun clay shoot to help raise money for their cancer foundation here in Longmont for the new Pikes Peak hospital, and that was so much fun, and I think we raised $27,000 or something for that.
Oh, wow. That's
And
good.
it was so much fun because we got to shoot guns a lot, and it was fantastic. But
let's talk about this gun thing.
but no, on the podcast, that was a really good one. I really liked. What was the other? There's more. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them, and it's hard to. There's the Mountain States Children's Home, where they help kids. That one's a really good one. and I have so many more that I have on my list. But if you guys want to be on my podcast, if you have a service or an organization that you guys are a part of, or that has helped you, that you would like to share, that you would like to get in contact with me, because I am looking for, I want to spotlight them and get them connected to whatever they need in the community.
Yeah, it's definitely good, especially the fundraiser, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure 27,000 can go a long way, you know what I mean? Just helping, just in general, that's pretty cool. So what would you say to anyone trying to get into the competition or get into the pageantry? Like, what advice would you give them?
I would say if you want to do it, and mention my name because I get $100 off. But no, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and doing it with my mom has been great, because this isn't me, you know.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely her space, and for her and I to, you know, lean on each other and have each other's support has been great. But no, if you feel any desire to do anything, do it. The only thing you're going to regret is not doing it.
Yeah. And then what would you say to anybody dealing with the medical and depression? You know what I mean? I haven't experienced it myself per se, but I know a lot of people struggle with it and try to navigate through that. It's very difficult because people turn to a wide array of different things that maybe aren't the healthiest. So what advice would you give to anybody that is struggling with the medical thing? And it's a pretty broad question, I'm sorry, and the depression end of it. So
medically, be your own advocate. Do your own research. Try different things. I can't say how many people I've come across that just think I'm crazy for what I'm doing with, you know, being mostly carnivore and drinking just water. And I can't tell you how it saved my life. And my parents thought that I was crazy too. And they're like, oh no, she's killing herself. They saw rapidly how much of a difference it made in me that they started doing it. My mom no longer is on opioids for her degenerative disc disease in her back. She doesn't even have to take ibuprofen anymore. She's not walking with a cane anymore, just simply changing her diet. So getting out the processed, the sugar, the garbage that's in, the middle of the food. Eat real food is my biggest, eat real food. You'll start feeling a lot better. Then you can get out and start moving around, start exercising, go to the gym, which that's my next step. And I'm so excited for it because I used to love to do that when I could, because I know it helped the depression to be able to go and do something physical and see results from it, even if it's me tearing out the carpet in the house and laying down laminate, it's all physical, but you know what, it helps. It helps so much with and just being with people that have the same mindset as you in the support system. So when it comes to medical things, definitely be your own advocate and find support.
Okay. So we're going to plug in the Instagram.
Yep.
What's the handle for Instagram? Like
mine? Mrs. Longmont 2023.
Okay, and then the Facebook?
Yep.
It's the same thing?
Yep. Mrs. Longmont 2023.
And then they can find the podcast on Spotify and
YouTube.
And is there anything else that we need to, another way that they can reach you? You said a website?
I have a website. I don't know what it is.
Off the top of your head. Look, but they can DM you on these.
It's in there.
I'll put the website on the bottom.
Yeah.
But definitely, if you guys are doing acts of service, man, she gives a great interview. Ask way better questions than me, because I'd be like all over the road.
No,
but now she definitely does a lot for the community. A lot of great stuff, man. I want to congratulate you on the 2024 crown. You know what I mean? That's heavy as the head that wears the crown. I want to thank you for all your support of all the events and everything like that. Also, too, I want to congratulate you on, the health thing, and also to opening up about it, because you didn't have to. Well, and I appreciate that, because, the main thing of my podcast is to motivate others and to show people that everybody has, you know what I mean?
Everybody is struggling.
Yeah.
Everybody is struggling with something, and you can relate to somebody. And whether you're at that same place with them, or you're right behind them, or you're a little bit ahead of them, you can help each other. And just know that you're not alone. You're not alone. There is a community. There are people out there that can help you, that will at least listen to you. You know, like I am a commissioned Stephen minister, and that is just to help, just to be there as after somebody has passed away, or after you lose a job. You get connected with one of us, and we just are there until you don't need somebody anymore, and we just listen. And that's something that's missing, is just listening. It's not just about me, it's about being there for somebody else. And that is, you know, that's a huge thing. It's just service, and even if it's just listening.
Yeah, because definitely I've found, you know what I mean? Because like I have a large part of my background, I've always been a taker more than giving back. And, you know, like here over the last few years, I've learned that might not be the best way, you know what I mean? Like but I've learned that giving back, I have received probably more, especially internally. Like just the, you know, the excitement of seeing people reach their goals, and seeing people flourish, and seeing people fly and go and pivot and go, you know what I mean, a whole nother route. And also too, you know what I mean, inspiring people to find their own path of giving back and stuff like that. That's been like, I think the biggest, like, you know what I mean? And then every morning, like I said, when I go to the gym in the morning, I'm inspired by other people's story and motivated. Like, for example, your story about like how you overcoming medical things, how you're pulling out of that, and how you just, like I said, just always are so positive. And so, like I said, I want to congratulate you on everything that you do and everything you've done, and wish you all the success moving forward. And like I said, look forward to you putting out all these podcasts that you're sitting on.
I know, it's driving me nuts.
Look, but last question.
Yes, sir.
So you're a wife.
Yes.
A mother.
Yes.
What keeps you motivated? Like what, you know what I mean? Like other mothers, other, you know, women who have a family, who are, I'm sure, busy with that. What keeps you motivated to do other things outside of, I'm sure, which is already a job within itself? Like what keeps you motivated to keep on going on, I guess, or doing things outside of the traditional family, like, hey, but still have a career, still have podcasts, still help with fundraisers? Like, what motivates you to do this?
I want to be an example to my kids of what you can do with your life, instead of just being, there's a song, and it's called Tiki Tacky, or it's a poem, and it's tiki tack. They're tiki tacky houses, and they're tiki tacky people, and they're all the same, and they all do the same things, and they don't expect anything different. I'm like, well, I want to be different. I want to be me. And so my motivation, I guess, is just to be me. I'm not the standard beauty queen, although I look like it right now on this. That's not what I am on the day-to-day basis, and I try to show that on my Instagram and stuff. You know, like it's not just for appearances. Yeah, I have to wear the uniform of that, but motivation, just it, like you said, you get so much back from what you give, that's motivating in and of itself.
Yeah. And like I said, so thank you for taking time out of your day and coming down.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? From the campsite. Sure, somebody's up there right now committing violations. And hey, look, so I'm going to let you get back to it, man. Hey, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, man, thank you to the barbers again, and also to the chef, Roses and Cilantro. I'll put all of Michelle's info on the bottom of here, man. Hey, this is Michelle, Mrs. Longmont. I'm King Penny, man. Hey, we're out of here.